Bright rays of sunshine greeting me this morning. Lovely. Welcome all to the light and love that is Unity of Lawrence. In Unity, we begin everything with prayer. So let's take a centering breath and open to the divine in all of us as we listen to this prayer. On this day, we dedicate our hearts to peace on earth. We appreciate everyone's spiritual journey and the abundant blessings bestowed upon us. In unity with all who seek to express freedom, joy, and transformation, we welcome our divine inheritance as creators. In harmony with this truth, we live to the best of our ability with a peaceful mind, a peaceful heart, and a peaceful spirit. And so it is. Amen. Our prayer chaplains are trained to hold sacred service and space to pray with you one-on-one. So if there is anything in your heart to be held in prayer, we invite you to see a chaplain following today's service at the front of the sanctuary. And today that's Cindy and Holly. Now let's do that other thing that we love, which is singing together. So let's rise and join Holly in singing, I've Got Peace Like a River. I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. Love like an ocean. Love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. And joy, I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. Got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. Now let's turn and greet each other today. like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. Yes, I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. Let it flow, that wonderful peace, love, and light, as we settle in the knowing that all is well. And so this is the time for us to affirm unity's founding principle together. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the source of all good. And now our Unity of Lawrence vision. United in divine love and joy, we celebrate a peaceful and abundant world for all. And our Unity of Lawrence mission, we are a thriving spiritual community, sharing love, building bridges, and inspiring transformation, especially from the back rows. All is swell. And we know that because Chris is a local Kansas City, Missouri musician, guitarist, songwriter, band leader, and teacher. He's been performing and creating music since the mid-90s. Went to the Conservatory of Music at UMKC in the 90s, where he studied classical guitar, has been teaching guitar and music for about the same amount of time. So welcome, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you. Morning rain fell on the corner of Bell Street. Dropping heavy, the weight of the world. You're hitting window panes, filling pails and buckets and eyes with loneliness. Can you remember childhood so fair? No shackles of town, no fates to be aware. Overtaken by a morning rain, filling pails and buckets and eyes with loneliness. Only my mind could fly me through this morning rain. Maybe flood out some foolish acts, rinse away my checkered past. They say the older you get, the younger you is. Like the rings of a tree, the fates within. Being battered by a morning rain, filling pails and buckets and eyes with loneliness. my mind can fly me through this morning rain. Maybe flood out some foolish shouts, erase away my checkered past. On borrowed time, sometimes a journey will lead us to a point of no return. Feeling haggard in a morning rain, filling pails and buckets and eyes with loneliness. If only my mind could fly above this morning rain. If only my mind could fly above this morning rain. If only my mind could fly above this morning rain. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Something about that reminded me of campfire songs at Camp Daisy Heinemann. And there was, I know, it's just the way my brain flutters around. It's fun to live in it. But there's a song that is so sweet that reminded me of, thinking about childhood memories. And it's, I won't sing it, but I'll say it. Friendship is a shining thing, a steady beam of light, a lantern on a lonely street, a song far in the night. And oh, what a happy child, bringing home a daffodil. And something about that rain filling up buckets just reminded me, so thank you. Yes, that is how I feel here, filling up buckets of rain and daffodils. Well, filling up our minds with something much deeper is Phil. Phil is in his third year in Lawrence and at Unity of Lawrence. He's a Texican, having spent the last 13 years in Mexico. Retired from 29 years of teaching art, he now mostly just meditates, creates art, plays guitar, and enjoys the love, energy, and community of Unity. His daughter and granddaughter reside in Baldwin City and are to blame for his being here today. We are happy you are here, Phil, and welcome.
Well, I have to say I really appreciate the yellow roses. If you know anything about Texas, that means something. Otherwise, never mind. I hope everyone had a really nice 4th of July celebration. I didn't. My car decided to test me and see if what I'm saying today is actually doable. And I'm happy to tell you it is. I feel like I've been through the fire. I still don't have my car back. So rather stressful. But I did have a chance to come up Tuesday for our meditation, which I forgot to cancel. And 2 lovely people showed up. But on the way in, I was thinking of, well, how could I do a teaching based on 4th of July? And I realized, well, wait a minute. The 4th of July, you know, people are celebrating the patriotism in the country and freedom and all that good stuff, and that's beautiful. But July 4th, 1776, was a declaration of war, essentially. You know, just putting it on paper did not make it so. They had to fight. They had to fight a battle that went on several years to actually attain the freedom that they were proclaiming in that document. I'm happy it worked out the way it did. Hallelujah. You know, here we are. But our spiritual life is kind of like that, because we are imprisoned, in a way, by the content of our thinking mind, our conceptual mind. Last week, Jay very eloquently talked about dealing with our BS. Well, at some level, if we're looking at non-duality, everything in the mind is BS because it's impermanent. It's based on our experience, our sensory impressions, our analysis of what's being sensed, and so forth and so on. So I'm not going to spend any time about that. I hope you understand that we are the product of our life experience, starting with our DNA and our birth conditions and our education and on down the list. So I don't want to spend any time on that. But what I do want to jump right into is that in the Buddhist tradition, one of the central meditations is renunciation. Now, that does not necessarily mean you shave your head and get a robe and take vows. That's an option. It's a good one if it's right for you, but don't do it if you aren't sure. It's not good to turn back. I almost did it. I had the haircut and everything, and I was online trying to book a flight to England in Spanish, and it just hit me like, do you really want to do this? And the answer was no, I don't. That whole celibacy clause, can you scratch that one out? Anyhow, that's another story. But when we talk about peace, we tend to think of it in terms of feeling peaceful, as opposed to not feeling peaceful. So it's very dualistic. We can be happy, usually it's because, and then we can be unhappy because. And they're basically extremes on a continuum. And that is, a conditional peace. Things are going well, my car is running, everything's fine, I feel great, I'm happy again, I don't have to walk to Dillon's, So, I know they deliver, but anyhow. That's what we know as peace. I mean, as peace, being peaceful. Or, the war's over, or the conflict has been resolved. Or it's all unfolding in that two-dimensional world, that dualistic world, the world of the content. I'm not going to call it BS. That's urgent stuff that needs to be dealt with. And we're going to look at that too. But what happens with this declaration of independence or this renunciation is simply seeing that world for what it is. It's not bad. It's not the enemy. Now, there's an area of it that's problematic. That's what we have to really work on. But it's not all just the enemy, really, but in a way it is, because it keeps us anchored in separation. As long as we're here and God is out there, there's a dualistic state. So the non-dual occurs when we realize our second unity principle. God is all. And since we are that. It's really pretty simple. And so that's the unified state, the oneness that we talk about. So the peace that I'm talking about today is, I call it profound inner peace. It is unshakable. It does not fluctuate. It does not come and go. It is the first appearance, in my experience, of your true self, the higher nature, the indwelling divinity, the Atman, whatever name you want to give it. It appears to us first as this profound inner peace. And it's magnificent. It's just a great experience. There is a prayer that's used, I used in my Buddhist tradition. You've probably heard versions of it because it's kind of well known. It said, may everyone be happy, may everyone be free from misery, may no one ever be separated from their happiness, may everyone have equanimity, free from hatred and attachment. Now, if we read that and we think of the word happy meaning like birthday or Christmas morning happy, yeah, that's good. We want everybody to have that happiness. We want everybody to feel good and enjoy life and be free of all that stuff. But if we substitute the word, may everyone be peaceful. May everyone know their peace. If they know their peace, they know their nature. May everyone know the peace of their true nature. May they never be separated from that, which is the cause of all misery. It's our separation from the truth of how we exist that opens up the door for all of our difficulties. And may they never be separated from it. May it be continuous. In other words, when the stuff, when the excretion hits the fan, first of all, just turn off the fan. But still, sometimes it takes a little while to find the switch on that sucker, Anyhow, when that happens, the measure of our spiritual maturity or evolution is how long does it take us to get back into connection with that peace? We're going to lose it. Stuff's going to happen. Things are going to break down. We're going to have challenges. That's not going to go away. And we're going to be disturbed. We're going to be pulled out of our peace. We're going to go into stress. We're going to go into fear or worry or whatever, anger, all those things. But how fast can we get back to it? That's our, if you can stay angry about something all day and you figure it out by the end of the day, you're doing pretty well. But if you're hanging on to something for days and weeks and years and decades, big problem. So that's, I just wanted to mention that. But the key word there is equanimity, is that in the non-dual state. Now, in the dualistic world, yeah, we like this, we don't like that. We have to make choices. Do I turn left or right? Do I want chocolate, vanilla, whatever? But I want to share one of my favorite quotes. This is from the third Chinese patriarch of Zen. Now, this may sound a little strange to some of you, but I love it. The great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. When love and hate are both absent, everything becomes clear and undisguised. Make the smallest distinctions, however, and heaven and earth are set infinitely apart. If you wish to see the truth, then hold no opinions for or against anything. To set up what you like against what you dislike is the dis-ease of the mind. Now, we can think of that as a sickness, but also it's just losing your ease, losing your peace. Now, this is our internal world. The outer world, yeah, we still have that stuff going on. We enjoy it or avoid it or whatever. But in truth, in our true nature, in the stillness of our inner world, these dichotomies, these opposites don't function. So that's the key. That's where we're headed. So there's another Buddhist idea is called the three poisons, that there are three root delusions in our mind. Now, this is not like the clinical delusion kind of thing. This is ignorance, hatred, and attachment. Or we can say attraction and aversion. The ignorance is the ignorance of our true nature. That's the separation state. When we don't know that and we don't operate from that, then stuff happens a lot. But we tend to get attached to things. Now, we can make choices. The danger with them is when we're attached to them. That's when they become opinions or expectations and all of that kind of psychological stuff. But if we just live in the present moment and we train ourselves to see reality as it's really appearing without judging it through that filter that's shaped by that other world, that conditional world. When we're in that conditioned state, everything we experience runs through that filter of our past experience. Our prejudices, our preferences, all of that stuff kicks in. and it shapes the way we relate to whatever's really happening to us, and we're not responding to it directly. Now, sometimes that stuff is accurate, so we can listen to it, but we don't have to. We can say, okay, what's really true in this moment? So with my car, I just ran a whole, list of, okay, what are the possible outcomes? What's the worst case, and what do I do? What's the first thing and I outlined in my mind what the steps were that I had to take. I'm still taking them. It's one of those deals where they couldn't get it to do what it needed to do, but finally we figured it out. So anyhow, hopefully tomorrow. These three poisons then are the root of these difficulties that arise in our lives that pull us out of our peace, that bring us into, worry, fear, stress, disturbance, dissatisfaction. The first noble truth, the first thing the Buddha said after his enlightenment was that suffering is all pervasive. But in the original language, it is dissatisfaction is all pervasive. It's not, suffering can be gentle, it can also be horrible. But anyhow, so when we're dissatisfied, things are not going the way we want, we lose our peace, generally speaking, if we have not found that profound inner peace. Now that comes, the only way I know to get there, or the best way I'll say for me, and I'm sure there are other approaches, is through some form of meditation or contemplation or prayer. It's an internal state. You have to cultivate an awareness of it, I believe. And there's some people that are just kind of born with it. But for the most part, we have to kind of do something to allow this peace to appear. So I knew a Buddhist nun years ago, and she gave a teaching on what she called the Big Mac. And of course, that was really funny to all these vegetarian Buddhist people. And of course, I got hungry for a Big Mac. But anyhow, what it was though, it stands for mindfulness, alertness, and conscientiousness. So what that means is our inner peace, we get so familiar with it, and we understand it as our true nature, our default operating system as a human being, and we notice when it's disturbed. And it's disturbed by one or more, they team up on us. Those delusions don't fight fair. They're the little battles in our Revolutionary War, is that we note our inner peace is like an alert system. So that's the A. It's like the little red light goes up. Oh, okay, there's a delusion at work here. So anytime we feel anything really, the first question, how does it relate to me? What have I done in my thought, my speech, or my actions to manifest this reality? We do that before we start looking at blame or causes outside of our own mind. Because one of the problems with preferences, I saw this on a YouTube just by accident yesterday, and it was an Abraham Hicks talk. And they were explaining that when we have a preference, we really want this, but we really don't want that, we attract both. And so that's really a lot of what the third Chinese patriarch is talking about. We want to get beyond that and develop a sense of sort of a spontaneous, effortless relationship with reality that's very natural and comfortable. So anyhow, the key to this then is some form of meditation. Now, you can do that on different levels. The only excuse to not meditate is that you really don't want to. Because it's simply a matter of sitting down and being quiet and still for X number of minutes. Your choice. 5, 10, 15, 20 ad infinitum. As long as you want. It's up to you. And it's not difficult in the beginning. Later on, it gets a little more involved, but not much, because it's a natural process. The meditative state is our natural state. So nature is cooperating with us. And there's this little thing called divine love that's calling us back into itself, that wants us to awaken to the truth of our nature and its divinity, and to come back into that and to connect with it and to co-create with it and to express it in our lives. So there's nothing really resisting that except being our thought, our habits, our BS, as Jay would call it. I'll just call it our busy stuff. And then this process, and what I want to do now is spend the next few minutes and just kind of talk you through the first stages, because this is where we can actually cultivate the inner peace right from the beginning. So the first stage is to relax. Now, you relax your body. If you need to move, do your whatever. Just relax. Find a comfortable way of sitting. Back as straight as possible, but be comfortable. That's more important. Then, something that we all do is breathe. Without that, life changes very dramatically. Try it. You'll see I'm correct. But what we don't, we say that, we take our centering breath, and we want to be in the present moment and breathe. Okay, good. But what I want to add to that, if it's news to you, I hope it's not, but breath is life. Breath is sacred. Breath contains the prana, the chi, the life force, whatever it's called, that keeps us going. In Aramaic, the word for breath is the same word for spirit. Breath is the Spirit of God keeping us alive. It is life itself. It is sacred. Each simple breath. If we buy into that and we can remember it, then just sitting still, taking a deep breath and connecting with it, watching it, rejoicing in the magnificence of this process, and to realize we breathe from our heart, really. We tend to think it's all up in here in the no. That's just the in and out valve. The pump is down here, the diaphragm in the heart chakra, not the heart. Well, the heart organ has its own little brain, so it's involved, but we're breathing from the center here. So if we acknowledge the sacredness of our breath and we focus on the heart energy, we automatically connect with divine love. And these emotions can arise. A love for this life, a deep gratitude for this breath, joy in existence, acknowledging the sacredness and the magnificence of just that simple process of bringing life force into our body and giving it back. We give something back with our carbon dioxide. The plants really appreciate it. And so I want to go through this step. And what we can do with our breath is, keep doing it, number one. But we can watch it. But we can also combine it with words if we want to. So this is a really good place to start if you're new to this. Now in time, you don't really have to do much other than just the process of breathing puts you into that state. But if as we breathe, we get quiet, we get comfortable and still, and we think, now you mount this on the breath. You breathe in, I am. Now the I is the individual aspect of the divinity that we are. The am is pure being, the actual state of existence. So the I am is not followed by your name. It's just I exist as an individual expression of the divine. So you're acknowledging that. So I am, and then you breathe out, here now. Now, you don't have to memorize these or put them in order. This is my list, but you'll get the idea. So I breathe in, I am. I breathe out, here now. I breathe in, I am. I breathe out, only now. I breathe in, grateful. No, I breathe in, I am. I breathe out, grateful. I breathe in, I am. I breathe out, alive. I breathe in, I am. I breathe out, free. I breathe in, I am. I breathe out, still and silent. I breathe in, I am. I breathe out, one with all. I breathe in, I am. I breathe out, love supreme. I breathe in, I am. I breathe out, open and receptive. I breathe in, I am, always blessed. I breathe in, I am, profound inner peace. Now, if you go through a process similar to this that you create for yourself, and you sit still, and you feel that openness and that receptive, your inner peace will arise. It's always there. It's always been there. It's just waiting for us to get out of the way and allow it to arise. Now, in the process of this little liturgy there, whatever's bugging us should calm down. Unless it's happening right now. You know, if there's a pit bull has your leg in its mouth, you better deal with that. You know, but if one did that to you last week, or there's one down the street you're worried about, that's not now. That's not happening during this meditative period. So that takes us into the next step. So once we get into that inner peace and we cultivate a relationship with it in time, when we're ready to do this, we can renounce completely the content of the mind. So I wore my special astronaut shirt today because I had this idea that the process I'm talking about is a lot like, I don't know if they still do this, when they send out a rocket into space, it has, there's the booster rocket. So at some point, the actual spaceship lets go of the booster and it just, I don't know what happens to it. I guess it gets burned up coming back down. But that's what we're doing in the meditation, is releasing our reliance upon the content of the mind. Absolutely. Every thought. If a word-based thought enters your mind, just let it flow by. Because it's impermanent. It's not now. Now, this is just during the meditation. It's not when you're, going to work. Although you can meditate driving. Be careful. So this reliance, this releasing this reliance then opens up this vast, empty space of pure consciousness, pure awareness. And at that point, we have the option to merge with the source of our being. Our little tiny individual consciousness is merging with the source of that consciousness. The little spark of divinity that each of us is merges with the source of that. We become one with not just the source, but the source is the source of all that is. When we merge with that, we become one with all that is. And that's a very exalted state. And I'm a big fan of the perennial philosophy. I've looked at a lot of versions of this. They all agree. Our unity principles are extremely profound. They are rooted in ancient tradition of mystical union with the divine. So we should, I hope, develop a really deep appreciation of that. I noticed there's a class coming up soon using a little book on the 5 principles. If you haven't done that, give it a consideration. So that's it.
That was really nice. On a Saturday walking by, broke a limb off of a dead elm tree. Can't remember the time of day when a blood red moon come chasing me. A blood red moon come chasing me. On the east northwestern light, shining light was a sight to see. Aurora brightly showed the way when a blood red moon come chasing me. A blood red moon come chasing me. Hammer down like a bullet train, it hits you hard like a walking cane. Ain't gonna change, ain't gonna change. Follow the glow northwestern light, mountain highway rock and scream. Switchback climbing was the only way when a blood red moon come chasing me. A blood red moon come chasing me. Hammer down like a bullet train, it hits you hard like a walking cane. Ain't gonna fade, ain't gonna fade. Thank you. Day. Tune up just a little bit.
Okay? Good. Okay, everyone, just let's give this a try. Just relax. Acknowledge the sacredness of this moment. Connect with the breath. Somewhere in the scripture it says, "Be still and know that I am God." Well, I would take the liberty to edit that a bit and say, know that we are all an aspect of God, exactly the same essence, like the wave is to the ocean. We need not be worthy. Nothing to do except receive it, allow it. So just relax into that thought. Just let the mind be the mind. Let it flow. Focus on the silent stillness and welcome the manifestation of your profound inner peace. Let it fill you with the divine presence. Claim it as your birthright. Rejoice. Feel the love in the heart radiate out into the world. Take refuge in this peace and this love and this presence. Now, as we conclude, take a moment to freeze in your mind, your heart, this feeling this sensation of stillness, serenity, wholeness, connection, and love. Recognize it as the truth of how we exist. Okay. So we can return back. Bring this peace into our lives. Thank you.
Tempest of the future, a red horizon dark, a rumble deep and low, from flash and lightning arc. Highs and his cannot unfold these troubles on the heart, corrupting all, full front and tall, staggered beat and trawl in a free fall. Step further, my feet would not embark. Through wind and ice and snow, first toes cannot go far. Eyes in his cannot unfold these bubbles on the heart, struggle brawl, strung out crawl, staggered beat and trawl in a free fall. morning's ever closer. I heard the song of a meadowlark. Midnight's coming near. On the road to the evening star. Eyes in his cannot avoid these troubles on the heart. You heard the call for one and all, staggered beat and trod in a free fall. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you, Phil, for those wonderful messages, setting peace deep within. And so now, as our ushers come forward for our time of thanks, I invite you to join me as we hold our gifts to this community in our hands and love in our hearts as we affirm together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Amen. And as the love offering is collected, let's join Holly in singing, Where I Sit is Holy.
Where I sit is holy, holy is the ground. Forest, mountain, river, listen to the sound. Great Spirit circles all around me. Who I am is holy, holy are we. Body, thought, emotion, connecting you and me. Great Spirit circles all around me. What I do is holy, holy is my way. Work and play together, celebrate the day. Great Spirit circles all around me. Great Spirit circles all around me. One more time. Great Spirit circles all around me.
Thank you, Holly. And so here is our prayer of thanks to listen to. We are grateful, and we bless the flow of good that supports our unity community. We bless the givers who give their time, talent, and treasure. We stand in the knowing that the flow of good goes forth only to return again and again. And so it is. Amen. And as always, opportunities abound in and through us. So a special welcome to our guests today. Thank you so much for joining us. If you'd like more information about Unity of Lawrence and the Unity of Movement, we have a welcome packet out in the foyer. Help yourself. And also, come on downstairs. Today is our second Sunday potluck. Downstairs, all are welcome. There is always enough for all. It's perfect. The food drive last month resulted in 100 pounds of food given to the Just Food Pantry. So thank everyone. Thank you, thank you. And there's lessons in survival Italian today at 4 p.m. with our Francesca. So welcome to that, no matter where you are in that stage and flow. Then, Kirtan and Sound Healing with Star Sister Revival and Friends is this Thursday, July 13th, 7 p.m. Pick up a flyer in the foyer for more information and come here Thursday at 7. Our beloved Karen Langsford's celebration of life will be this coming Saturday, July 15th at 3 o'clock here in our Unity of Lawrence Sanctuary. If you are able, please park on the street or the middle school to save space for those who need closer space. And we will be streaming the service on Facebook and Zoom. So you can see our website for those links. The book study Becoming Supernatural class on Monday next week, July 17th, is canceled. The next session will be Monday, July 31st. Remember, as Phil mentioned, Open Meditation meets on Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m., and there will not be meditation July 18th, but we will resume that on July 25th. Again, all of this information is in the foyer, on the website. We'll remind you each time. The new member class sign up. Again, Phil mentioned that little book of 5 Unity Principles. Classes will be held August 13th, 20th, 27th at 12:30 in the sanctuary. Sharon Dwyer is teaching and will be using Ellen Davenport's book, The 5 Principles, which is also available online. And then next Sunday, join us when Kelly Hunt brings us special music and the message, Dancing with the Light. So we'll start with a warm-up on Thursday and then right into Sunday with Kelly. Now it's time to rise and sing together our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as Creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the